Hey everybody, this is Elias Planakos from Wireless Insider, and today I have with me the brand new Apple iPhone 5, straight from Cupertino, California, down in the US. It's going to be a little hard to review it by itself, because we all know this is a very incredible device, and in the sake of time, I am skipping the unboxing, so there's the box if you really want to see it. Goodbye. To help me, here's an iPhone 4S, both of them running OS 6, so that's the freshest one released this month. September 2012. So we're going to go over the hardware, software, and some of a comparison between the two, really, because they're very similar in performance, just because iPhone 4S was so overpowered when it came out, and it can run so many applications very well. But this is more a comparison to see exactly what's so different between these two devices and what iPhone 5 brings to the table. So for now, let's put this guy to the side and take a look at the 5's hardware. Right away, you notice that the screen is larger. The width is exactly the same at 640 pixels. The height has been increased to 1136 pixels, whereas the iPhone 4S was 960. So essentially what they've done is increase the height of the screen, but the width is exactly the same. You'll notice also on the side here, they have a beveled edge. You see that cool chrome reflection. This is more noticeable in the iPhone 5 in white. It's really cool, especially if it's chrome. It really shines and stands out. In the front, nothing much has really changed except the camera. Instead of it being to the left of the phone, is now on top, so it's more centered when you're having those voice chats or iChat. The bottom, we did change, Apple did change the charger port, so now it is universal. This is how the charger looks like. Not universal in the sense that, you could plug it in this way or you could flip it around. There's no more confusion as to which way you're plugging in your charger, which is pretty cool. Speakers are at the bottom, as well as the headphone jack, which is different from the 4S. And at the top is the power button. On the right side is a SIM card tray. It takes a nano SIM card. The 4S and the 4 take micro SIM. The left side you have the volume up and down, and they kept the vibration on and off trigger button, which is pretty cool. This feels very light in the hand, and as it should be. The old iPhone 4S was 140 grams. This is 112 grams. So despite them increasing the size of the screen and increasing the size of the screen and increasing its power, they have managed to reduce the weight, and it's immediately noticeable when you are comparing them and holding them in your hand. At the back, ignore the sticker. The cameras and the flash have been placed in similar locations, so if you're familiar or used to holding a camera, the iPhone in a certain way to take pictures, that hasn't changed, and the back is nice and smooth on the iPhone 5. The traditional 4 and 4S, there's glass. On the 5, you do have glass at the top, the bottom, and a brushed aluminum matte finish, which feels really, really cool. And if you've ever felt the 4 or 4S, the side aluminum, it's the exact same kind of feeling here for the 5, except it's now black for the black one, and of course silver for the white one. So yeah, that is really nice. Now I turn the phone off because I want to turn them on at the exact same time, just so we have a little timer. I do have their arch nemesis, the Samsung Galaxy S3. There he is. Whoop. We're going to time them, see how long they take to turn on. So it'll be a little tricky, so I'm going to try to use my pinky to turn the timer on while I'm turning these guys on. 3, 2, 1, and there we go. So yes, as mentioned before, the 4 and 4S have a 3.5-inch screen. The iPhone 5 has a 4-inch screen. The older iPhone 4S has a 1432 mAh battery. The newer one has a 1440 mAh battery. Not a huge difference. And you'll notice that little pop-up that show up right now. This is the 4, the 4S, and the 5. Oh, 5 is done at 22 seconds, and the 4S is done at 24 seconds. Not too far behind. Sorry. There we go. So yeah, where's that pop-up again? Oh yeah, right there. 4, 4S, and 5. Those are basically the differences in very generally speaking. Not much has changed in the battery department, but as you can see, the processor and memory has changed. Go away, you. So 28 seconds total for the 4S. 24 seconds and 22 seconds. Alright, let's get out of here. So right away you'll notice there's a 5th row of icons. That's basically the only visual difference. Again, they're both running iOS 6, so you should not notice much of a difference at all, except for the new real estate, or more real estate we have on the devices, which does make it a little nicer when you're viewing websites. In that case, since we're on Wi-Fi on both devices, let's jump right into Safari. I want to show you an example. Don't know why that's doing that. Let's go to Engadget.com. Oops. And see how that looks. Okay, Engadget.com has been typed on both of them, and let's go. 4S seems to have taken it a bit. Okay, do not want the Android app. Let's continue to the website. 5 is a bit faster, but this is just peanuts. There shouldn't be much of a difference. Let me zoom in a bit more so you can see what I'm saying. Okay, so you notice right away there is more real estate, so you can see more of a web page. When scrolling, it is nice to have that larger display so you can see more information. If we go into an article, let's choose something that's the same on both. Let's click here. a little bit faster, but this is very small. Again, these are very powerful devices. You have a Ferrari and a modified Ferrari. In the end, they're going so fast that the average user may or may not even make use of that much power they can offer. But again, this is just compared to screen size, which is the most significant change physically of the two devices. Boom, you do notice that the picture is more visible in the 5. You get the idea. Okay, cool. And let's rotate them. Again, very fast. I mean, come on. That's the way it's supposed to be. Let's go back to the home screen. Updated the same. And let's see, quickly Siri launches. A little faster on the 5, but you know, we're not talking about much here. Let's see. What time is it?
It's 6:34 p.m.
Wow. What's your excuse, huh? What's your excuse? Okay, obviously some changes have to be done. This isn't out of beta quite yet. Don't know what it's waiting for. Let's try that again.
The time is 6:34 p.m.
Okay, let's try that again. What's the weather like tomorrow?
It should be nice tomorrow. Up to 16.
Okay, you get the idea. So yeah, I guess it was a glitch initially, but pretty much the same speeds outside of that. YouTube support was lost in a recent update, but it doesn't mean you can't download the application again. Let's go to YouTube, and you'll notice something immediately here. Because this does have a very strange resolution, much different than the aspect ratios of 720 or 1080p video content. It will not fill the screen. There will be some letterboxing. You will not notice it too much on the black iPhone 5, just because it does have the body of the phone is black, and so is the screen. But you can see right here. This is, let me get in the light. That's the screen. This is where the title bar is. So if I exit out of here, see, it automatically letterboxes all apps just to make sure that it's going to fit into the screen. So let's go to see the 300 trailer, and we'll do an audio and video test. Okay, it's loaded. Let's go. A little faster there. Whoop-de-doo. 300 Sparta, 300. Let's go to, sure. Let's go there. Let's get it all the way up. Let's jump to a point. Wow, that's loud. Okay. Let's see if we can even. I don't know if this will translate to the camera, but I'll just take my word for it. Let's see which one's louder. Wow. Okay, so I do notice that there is more bass or a little of a hollow sound coming from the iPhone 5, whereas here it's very crispier in the 4S. Maybe you can hear it. Very, not the good kind of crispy. We're talking like little distortions in the high notes. Let's go here. No crispy. Yeah. So there's a good example. It's not crispy, but I guess distorted, let's say, at higher volumes. And just taking a look at it, looks like the bigger speakers, but you know, in the end, it just could be the same speakers, just improved. So audio quality is, well, this seems better on the iPhone 5. It better be. It's newer. So let's get out of here, and I don't know. Let's try to tax it. Let's look at how many. Wrong idea. We have a whole bunch of applications running. Okay, let's take a look at the iOS store. See how long it takes to load up. Marketplace. Where are you? AppStore. Both did a YouTube search. So remember my last search. Both iPhone 5 did load faster. Let's go to featured. Loaded faster again. Okay, so it is faster, and as it should be, does have a much different processor. The older iPhone 4S had a 1 GHz A9 processor. This guy over here has a dual-core 1.2 GHz A6 processor, as well as double the RAM, 512 megs versus 1 GB of RAM. So we pretty much exhausted how we can compare this phone to the iPhone 5. There isn't really much to test here. I mean, it does have LTE support, which is nice, but I'm going to unfortunately have to end this in the same way many other reviewers have said. It looks at first glance, and for the average, typical, or medium range user, it pretty much is the same as the iPhone 4S, except for the 5th row of icons. It is more fast, don't get me wrong, and it should be. It is the ultimate iPhone ever created. Unfortunately, if you have gotten a little tired or bored with the OS, then there's not much different in that regard. Nothing much has really changed. You can't expect things like widgets and animated wallpapers and whatnot, because that would be borrowing from Google's Android, and you know, Apple doesn't really like doing that kind of thing. What really surprised me was the fact that they didn't give the the option of having an LED indicator light. I mean, companies like Samsung, it has a light, and you can even customize whether it should be on or off. They decided to say, no, our users don't want that, which is unfortunate because some users would like to have a little blinking light whenever they get a notification, or at least have the option to have it, on or off. LTE LTE compatibility is a obvious no-brainer. It should have that support, and it does. It still has Bluetooth 4.0, but in the end, it pretty much is a bigger iPhone 4S. For power users, you will definitely notice this, especially when you're multitasking, mainly because of the doubling in RAM. But outside of that, it is an absolutely beautiful device to look at and to feel. It is very sleek, and some people complain about scratching. I've yet to see that, but again, I've only had it for a few days now. The future has yet to determine exactly how that works, but with the 720p front-facing camera, 8-megapixel 1080p HD camera in the back with very similar accents to the traditional iPhone 4 and 4S, it shouldn't be too hard for new users to adapt to this, or existing iPhone users to adapt to this. And if you are upgrading for a device like the iPhone 4, this is a definite massive improvement beyond your recognition. If you have the 4S and this is something you're looking at, you won't notice as much of a difference as going from the 3G or 3GS to the 4 or 4S, but you will understand and appreciate the fact that it has a fifth row of icons and a larger display, and eventually as applications slowly roll out for this device that will take full advantage of the 640 by 1136 resolution screen, you should notice that applications will make full use of the screen's real estate. Again, this is Elias Planakos from Wireless Insider. If you like what you saw here today, please like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments section below. Until next time, take care.